Welcome to the River of Grass Gala, where we celebrate the past, present, and future of the Everglades. Let's begin in the winter of 1893. At that time, it was the height of fashion for ladies to wear egret plumes in their hats. Canals were dredged, wetlands were drained, and the land was sold for $15 per acre. By the dawn of the 20th century, draining the Everglades was a major part of land reform. In 1947, Marjory Stoneman Douglas published her book, The Everglades, River of Grass, which changed people's perceptions of the Everglades forever. Arthur R. Marshall worked closely with Douglas on the campaign to protect and restore the Everglades, and in 1984, he was named Environmentalist of the Decade. In 1998, the Arthur R. Marshall Foundation was formed to carry out Art's legacy. The Marshall Foundation kicked off 2010, the Year of the Everglades, with a historic 78-mile canoe expedition that followed the flow of water through South Florida. Through the use of modern technology, the 11 Corps paddlers brought the Everglades message to thousands of students who followed their journey from the classroom.
The American Indians believed that the earth belonged to God. Man was put here to take care of it. And I would tell my grandchildren that if you let any part of that creation be destroyed, you will have to answer to God. My name is Joyce McClendon, and I'm a board member of the Marshall Foundation.
There are no other Everglades in the world. They have always been one of the unique regions of the earth.
The Everglades is a mystery. So many people, I think, have misunderstood what the Everglades is, and they thought of it many years ago as just a nasty old swamp.
It is a source of our drinking water, but it is so much more. It is home to many species of birds and animals who have survived the onslaught of man, from the drainage of parts of the River of Grass, to the dikes to divert water, to the straightening of the Kissimmee River.
We're living in an environmental disaster that was not fully understood or comprehended at the time.
The wildlife came under attack literally around the turn of the last century. The assault was driven by bird feathers used in ladies' hats.
Some feathers were much more expensive, so yes. And the more feathers you had, the more status symbol it was.
Egret feathers were the most prized, and plume hunters nearly decimated the egret population in the Everglades.
Well, when my family first moved here, there was no one else here.
This fifth generation Floridian has heard all the family stories, and it prompted him to write the book, The Last Egret, which tells how his great-great-uncle, Charlie Pierce, and his friends set off on an expedition into the Everglades to shoot plume birds themselves.
I think initially when the idea of killing the plume birds and selling the plumes was presented to Charlie and his friends, it seemed like a pretty good idea.
Are you guys really gonna shoot those birds?
Yep, that's what we came all this way for.
But they're so pretty, and we've barely seen any snowy egrets. I mean, I could understand you shooting those herons and things we've got close by home, but how do you know that's not every snowy egret left in the world?
That's just a girl thing to say. Of course there are more than just those.
How do you know? Anyway, don't you think some things are just too pretty to be shot at?
While Charlie's sister made her case, Charlie's friend Tiger, a Seminole Indian, wrestled with his feelings about slaughtering birds just for their feathers. Eventually, they all understood what they were doing was wrong.
And all of them wanted, in their own way, to really repent for what they had participated in, and they all went about it in a different way.
One friend, Guy Bradley, went on to become a game warden. He was shot to death by a plume hunter he was trying to Guy Bradley's death helped spark laws to protect birds in the Everglades.
if we really want to be honest with ourselves, we are the problem. Moving more people into South Florida is a problem.
But we have taken steps to restore the Everglades, although much more still needs to be done.
We are in an ecosystem, the Everglades ecosystem. We're an ecosystem that's the only one in the world. It's right here.
The biggest danger that we have for the Everglades is the lack of education.
And that's why books like The Last Egret, destinations like the Arthur R. Marshall Loxahatchee Wildlife Refuge, and the Palm Beach County History Museum are so vital. They are testaments to the damage and the restoration of this vital resource. The complete half-hour documentary, The Last Egret, can be viewed in its entirety at www.palmbeachschools.org/10 in the Features tab.
Hello, I'm Roberta Dry. I'm a board member of the Arthur R. Marshall Foundation, and I'm hoping that you will join me in supporting the foundation in all its good works for education and preserving our wonderful natural resources.
I'm Paul Richard Suschak. I got a great education from the Marshall Foundation on our ecosystem here in Florida, and I think it's important that I rally my friends together to really preserve our ecosystem and make Florida a healthy, happy environment, especially for the future of our children.
Please join us in celebrating those who made tonight possible, including our honorary chairs, the event co-chairs, the Gala Committee, and our 2010 Ambassadors of the Everglades. And please help us congratulate this year's Champion of the Everglades Award winners. As we look toward the future, let's recognize the progress being made in the Everglades, such as the Tamiami Trail Bridge and the Picayune Strand Restoration Project. The Marshall Foundation celebrates the future through our acclaimed summer intern program and by creating young stewards of the environment through our ongoing environmental education programs. And our numerous community partnerships are helping to spread a united conservation message. The Marshall Foundation is pleased to announce that Catherine Fox will serve as next year's River of Grass event chairwoman.